What's going on, YouTube? I'm Wayne. This is Wayne's Fish World. Gonna kick it old school. Didn't really have time to edit a video for you guys this week, so I'm gonna do a raw video. I know some of you guys out there love the old school raw videos back before fish in the YouTube community got overrated and, you know, edited and all that good stuff. Let's go back to the glory days when the fish community was starting to get some traction. Today I want to talk about cloudy water in your aquariums. So this is what's going on with my tank. I haven't revealed this tank yet. This is my 125 gallon that I'm setting up. There's fish in here I haven't even talked about. This is the first glimpse, and I wanted to take the time this week to do a nice edited video talking about that. But I'm probably going to do that next week because I just didn't have time. But I still want to bring you guys a video, so I will speak very briefly on this tank before we get into the topic of cloudy water. There's 2 platinum angels right there. There's 2 double black angels. There's 6 albino koi cats I added yesterday. And there are 3 ballast sharks. There's some native driftwood. We'll talk about substrate and everything. We'll talk about that in another video, maybe this video. But let's dive into it. Cloudy water. When does it happen? Why does it occur? How do you fix it? Cloudy water comes and goes like the seasons. But one thing that's always present is that there is something that's triggering it, and usually it's a nutrient overload or your tank is establishing. You guys haven't seen this tank, so more than likely, guess what, this is a brand new aquarium. It's been set up for a couple months now, maybe 2 months, if that, maybe something around those lines. There's a history on this tank. It was set up a year ago, and we drained it down, and we'll talk about that in next week's video. But where I'm getting at, this tank is not broken in. You can't expect to cycle an aquarium in a week. You can't expect to cycle an aquarium at any given date, because no two systems are the same, and your aquarium is going to take time to break in. You can get all the beneficial bacteria you want, unless you have a lot in biomedia or whatever might be the source. Your tank still needs to go through its ups and downs. It has a natural cycle of events such as green water, cloudy water, diatoms, spikes in nutrient levels, either it be ammonia, nitrite, phosphate, whatever it might be. There are cycles in your aquarium that go beyond the nitrogen and the phosphorus cycle. And cloudy water is a reaction of a couple things. Mainly, it's either a nutrient overload or it's an aquarium trying to find the sweet spot. So with my tank, let's talk about new tank syndrome, which is one of the effects of new tank syndrome. Like I said a minute ago, when your aquarium is getting to that sweet spot, when it's trying to stabilize, go into cruise control, it has to go through ups and downs. Just like in life, your tank's got to go through ups and downs to get to that point where it's going good. In my case, I'm going to give you the history of this tank briefly. This tank had a bacterial infection that wreaked havoc. This tank was almost fully set up. It had discus, angelfish, gouramis, tetras, you name it. All those fish died through a bacterial outbreak. I drained this tank. I converted it. I tried gar that's local to my rivers. I've tried goldfish. I've tried many different types of species. Nothing worked. And I had sand in this aquarium at that point. I removed all the sand, drained it down, and I nuked this tank with something I'm not sure I'm going to reveal to YouTube because it's going to get some criticism. But I nuked it, I played it safe, I removed the chemical that I introduced into this aquarium, I let the tank go through a nitrogen cycle, and I slowly introduced fish. But what I also did is this black gravel was gravel from other tanks, and I added that before I nuked the system. So all the organic material that was in the gravel that was seeded, biologically seeded with beneficial bacteria, it nuked. There was live plants and everything you can think of that just got an atomic bomb smashed in the aquarium. That was a lot of bio load. And even though the nitrogen levels have gone to a safe spot that's safe for the fish, there is still organic material in the water column. So this cloudy water is a result of a bacteria bloom. It doesn't look this bad in person. And believe it or not, it was much worse. Beforehand, I couldn't even see fish that were 3 inches back. Now I can see them in the back of the aquarium, which is about 22 inches back deep. It's slowly getting better. Now, cloudy water in your established systems, something's going haywire. Simply put it, the system got out of balance. It needs maintenance. It needs an oil change. Maybe you're feeding too much. Maybe you left your lights on too much. Cloudy water can also come through leaving your lights on because it's an early stage of pea soup water. So too much lighting or too strong of lighting could definitely cause cloudy water. Another thing, in my past video, maybe I'll put the link below, I talked about how I'm going to be planting this tank soon. There's only one little crypt plant in this tank. Guarantee you, when I introduce more live plants to this tank, cloudy water will never impact this harsh again. Now, you can get cloudy water in the plant aquarium, but what I'm saying is these plants are going to soak up the nutrients. So a good way you can get rid of the nutrient level is, the best way in reality is to bite the bullet and bear with it. Let your system catch up to itself. Do the maintenance that you need to do. I really wouldn't go in there and mess with your tank if it really hasn't established a beneficial bacteria colony that can support your fish. Because if you're in there siphoning the substrate and whatever, if you're removing a lot of that beneficial bacteria, you're only slowing it down. Like I said, in my case, it's slowly clearing itself and it's torturous to wait. But I could do water changes. I could siphon the gravel, which I will do eventually. But right now, I'm just letting Mother Nature take its course. There's chemicals out there on the market that you can buy and you can introduce into the aquarium. What they basically do is help break down the organic material that's fallen in your substrate or in your filters, wherever it might be, so it's in a more decomposed state. And it also has a beneficial bacteria booster. So basically, it helps populate your beneficial bacteria. So with it breaking down the nutrient levels and your beneficial bacteria, blossoming, it's, in a sense, clouding your water. Now, cloudy water can also come through other things like fish spawning. It could come through sediments, fine sand getting disturbed, clay in your planted aquariums, dirt. It can also happen through a water change, all dependent on your water source. But for the most part, cloudy water is most common in what's called new tank syndrome. New tank syndrome has a lot of different reactions to it, and cloudy water is an effect of new tank syndrome. It's a reaction of Mother Nature taking its course. It looks unappealing to the eye, guys. As long as your system is in check with the parameters, don't really worry about it. Keep up with your maintenance, but let it take care of itself. In time, I guarantee this aquarium will clear itself. I don't know how long it's going to take. You can do water changes to help. You can siphon the substrate. Just make sure if you have a new system, don't go playing with your tanks. Let it establish itself. Once it's established, then you can perform water changes that are adequate for your system. Can't tell you to do a 20, a 50, a 75%. You need to find out what works for you. Be careful. Be moderate. Be very moderate in how you do things. If you've never done a huge water change, don't go out and do a 75% water change expecting no side effects, because your system might not be able to handle that. So guys, I hope you like this old school video. Cloudy water, it's nothing to fear. It's going to go away in time. There's multiple effects on what could cause it. Do the research. Think about how your system complies with the research you've done. Seek counsel from experienced people like the community that is in the comment section below. Other than that, guys, I'll come back with you guys next week with a nice edited video. I hope you like the old school raw video. If you want to see the progression of this tank turning into a half Dutch, half Amazon biotope once more, stick around, hit that subscribe button and the bell button. That way you guys get notified on when I make new videos. Also, I've got goldfish tanks, African cichlids that I haven't revealed yet. I'm going to be setting up new tanks like saltwater. I've got fish behind me. I've I got a lot going on. So definitely stay tuned, guys. Thanks for the support. I'll see you guys next week. Later.